and let it eat the onions. Here we are, look, in the 204. We've been riding around for a few journeys, like that, which is inconvenient for two reasons. One, there's only 5 litres of fuel when it's full. It gets a bit whiffy in here. I don't particularly think it's safe. And when you pick up a passenger, you have to kind of explain, please don't drink the fluids in front of you. They don't seem to get it. So, we have the fuel tank being repaired. Let's run the fuel line, a new fuel line, which I'm going to have to make from some of this, from the front all the way to the back, and we'll put a 10 litre jerry can in the boot, and at least that's sort of okay-ish. I could do get a boat tank, but I haven't got a boat tank. I'm trying to fix it the proper way with getting the tank repaired, so let's do that. And if we've got time, we'll have a look at putting the anti-roll bar bush and link. The link is not good, the bush is almost disintegrated, and this is a Japanese Shogun or something. It's the closest I could get. Can't get the original part, or I couldn't find it at this point in this video. So let's get on fuel line first, then anti-roll bar stuff. And once again, I stand before you. Hang on. Sorry, I'm not standing before you. Once again, I stand before you amazed that I didn't break any nuts and bolts off, despite the fact of being under the car and rusty. They all came undone. Fuel line came without a wiggle, without too much of a fuss, just a bit of a wiggle. New line length is fine. Notice the line is a fair bit bigger, but that's fine. I basically was the closest size I could find without going smaller. I'd rather a larger diameter than a small one. It's nice soft copper. Let's run this line and see what happens. So sometimes I wonder, how clean is fuel? And I'd emptied the old fuel tank, the sort of rusty one, into a couple of these. This was fresh fuel in this can. And as I was emptying it into this can, which I want to use in the boot temporarily, I was like, maybe I should use a filtered funnel. So it's got a coarse filter in the bottom there. And I'm glad I did. So actually I looked inside there, realised there was lots of silt in the bottom that was coming from one of these. So made sure this was bone dry and clean in there. Poured the remnants in there using the filtered funnel, and then returned everything back in there again with the filtered funnel. Tapped it out, it's dried out, and that was in there. So look out in the bottom of the fuel tanks. I don't want all this stuff coming back into the new lines and into the pump and everything. Nice clean fuel system is what we want. Super clean. Right, let's do it. You can hopefully just about see the copper line there, centre of shot that's come up. It's a bit long at the moment, but I'd rather it that way. And then up in through there with a rubber pipe. Into here. Okay then, here's our race tank. Our fuel cell for the drag strip. Don't want to carry too much fuel for the drag strip, so 10 litres is about right, 2 gallons, 2.2 gallons. Goes into a race spec ethanol safe fuel line, if you ever want to run E85. And then this goes under the car because we've done the old fuel tank delete for weight saving. Goes into a new copper pipe, which you can see runs along the OEM route, along there, all the way down, over the subframe. They definitely fitted this fuel line before they put the subframe on, I'll tell you that much. Goes up to the OEM position, into the fuel tank, fuel pump, into the fuel filter, which has gone a bit dry now, so we're going to pull some fuel through from that nice new race fuel cell up to this point here, and let it eat the onions, as they say. Run in like a champ. A very, very old champion that is due retirement, but she's running like one of those. Sweet. Right, next, anti-roll bar link and bushy, and let's go for a drive. I think there's a little bit of play in that bush. Shout out to Steve and Plusface Noah. This was perfect before you borrowed it for the day. That's kind of ruined too. So let's sort that out. So there we go, new drop link in, new anti-roll bar bush. That should stop the noises. So we've got the new fuel line in. Fuel tank is ready to pick up, but it's a long way away, so I'll have to go and get that the weekend. Let's try the new fuel line on the road. Let's get into town and pick up some fuel. That'd be a good go into town rig, I think. Oh yeah, nice day. Let's go along. Fuel tank shows empty. Weird that, considering I don't have a fuel tank. did laugh. Sat with it, my wife, Mrs. Biggie, and she said, "Why don't we take this on the NC 500? This is the funniest joke she has ever said." She's a very funny lady. So just get some perspective. Going on the NC 500, what you see on the other parts of this channel, the Lemon, we're taking the Lemon, which has gained its name that way, but there's pretty much nothing left in it that originally was there in the first place. Got a wave then from someone, that was nice. Don't know who they are. And it's 550 miles just from my home to get to the start of the NC 500, pretty much all motorway and big A roads, dual carriageways. 8.5 hours without stopping, and then there's 500 miles round it, plus the backwards and forwards, and then the 8.5 hours, 550 miles home. And she wanted to do it in this, which at 50 miles an hour is quite happy. At 55, it's starting to complain. At 60, it's all right. I don't know if it would cruise at 70. So we're taking very, very long time. If I lived near the NC 500, great idea. I'd happily, it's probably a great car, it'd be right at home